Lesson number 4, Thursday, October 20th. Those who sleep in the dust. As we will see, the New Testament talks a great deal about the resurrection of the dead, and as we have already seen, the idea of the resurrection of the dead appears in the Old Testament as well. These people in Old Testament times had the hope of the final resurrection that we do. Martha, living at the time of Jesus, already had this hope, John 11:24. No question, even then, the Jews had some knowledge of the resurrection in the last days, even if not all believed it. See Acts 23:8. Read Daniel 12, verses 1 and 2 say, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which stands for the children of your people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was, since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time your people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting death." Okay. What resurrection hope is found here in the writings of this great prophet? Daniel 12:1 refers to Michael, the great prince, whose identification has been with much dispute, because each of the great visions in the book of Daniel culminates with the manifestation of Christ and his kingdom. The same should be the case in regard to this specific passage. In the book of Daniel, we find allusions to the same divine being as the Prince of the Host, Daniel 8:11, the Prince of Princes, 8:25, Messiah the Prince, 9:25, and finally as Michael, the great prince, 12:1. So, we should identify Michael also as Christ. The Old Testament passages considered so far, such as Job 19:25-27, Psalms 49:15 and 71:20, and Isaiah 26:19, all speak of the resurrection of righteous people. But Daniel 12 speaks of a resurrection of both the righteous and unrighteous. When Michael stands up, according to verse 2 of Daniel 12, many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, some to shame and everlasting death. Many view this verse to be talking about a special resurrection of certain people, both the faithful and the unfaithful, at Christ's return. But according to the Great Controversy, page 637, it says, "Graves are opened, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth awake, some to everlasting life, and some to the shame of everlasting death. All who have died in the faith of the third angel's message come forth from their tomb glorified to hear God's covenant of peace with those who have kept his law. They also which pierced him," Revelation 1:7, "those that mocked and derided Christ's dying agonies, and the most violent opposers of his truth and his people, all are raised to behold him in his glory and to see the honor placed upon the loyal and obedient." From the book Christ Object Lessons, page 179, it says, "From garrets, from hovels, from dungeons, from scaffolds, from mountains and deserts, from the caves of the earth and the caverns of the sea, Christ will gather his children to himself. On earth they have been destitute, afflicted, and tormented. Millions have gone down to the grave loaded with infamy because they refuse to yield to the deceptive claims of Satan. By human tribunals, the children of God have been adjudged the vilest criminals. But the day is near when God is judge himself. Psalms 56. Then the decisions of earth shall be reversed. The rebuke of his people shall be taken away. Isaiah 25:8. White robes will be given to every one of them. Revelation 6:11. And they shall call them the holy people, the redeemed of the Lord. Isaiah 62:12. From the book Prophets and Kings, page 548, it says, From the rise and fall of nations, as made plain in the books of Daniel and Revelation, we need to learn how worthless is mere outward and worldly glory. Babylon, with all its power and magnificence, how completely has it passed away. As the flower of the grass, it has perished. James 1:10. Only that which is bound up with his purpose and expresses his character can endure. His principles are the only steadfast things our world knows. Have a blessed day.